After the holiday season, everything suddenly becomes chaotic with trash and clutter all around the house. You want to clean, but you don't know where to start, right? I've been there too. After every holiday, everything from the kitchen to the living room feels like a big mess that needs to be dealt with. In this video, I'll share quick and easy ways to tidy up after the holiday season, helping you get your space back in order without feeling overwhelmed. I've tried these methods myself, and the results have been noticeable. Every time I clean, the space feels fresh and airy, helping me start the new year with a lighter, more relaxed mindset. If you also want to tackle that mess without feeling exhausted, give these tips a try. Don't forget to follow along so you don't miss out on other helpful cleaning tips. The first step is to start by handling the trash. After a long holiday season, your home is probably filled with packaging, gift-wrapped cardboard boxes, disposable items, and things that are no longer useful. These piles of trash not only make your living space messy, but also make you feel overwhelmed and stressed. It's easy to feel stuck, not knowing where to start. Don't let these piles of trash build up further, adding to the sense of chaos in your home. Begin with this simple but highly effective step, handling the trash. When I clean up after the holiday season, the first thing I do is get rid of all the obvious trash like gift-wrapped cardboard boxes, empty packaging, and leftover food containers. I don't try to do everything at once, but break the task into smaller steps. I usually start in the kitchen because that's where most of the trash accumulates after meals. I remove all the leftover food packaging and boxes from the gifts that were opened. Then I move to the living room, checking for candy wrappers, torn gift boxes, and other items that are no longer needed. Each room usually takes only about 5 to 10 minutes, but immediately you'll notice how the space feels more open and comfortable. I understand the feeling of looking at a pile of trash and not knowing where to begin. But once you start clearing away the things you no longer need, you'll feel the difference right away. The space becomes tidier, and that helps relieve stress and makes you feel lighter. Handling the trash is a small but incredibly important step, because once you see parts of your home starting to look cleaner, your mood will naturally improve. This will give you the motivation to continue tidying up the other areas of your house. With most of the trash gone and the space starting to feel clearer, it's time to deal with those Christmas decorations. While they're lovely and full of memories, if left unattended, they can take up valuable space and make your home feel cluttered. Clean them up and store them properly to make room for a fresh new year ahead. Next, don't overlook the Christmas decorations. As much as we love them after the holiday season, these decorations can start feeling like clutter. The lights, garlands, little figurines. They take up space, and if left up after the season, your home can start to feel cramped. I understand not wanting to part with the holiday cheer, but keeping them around too long will make your space feel more cluttered, and it'll be harder to reset for the new year. The trick is to break the task down into smaller steps and take your time. Start with the smaller items like wreaths, garlands, and table decorations. These can be taken down quickly, so you'll feel like you're making progress immediately. I usually start in the kitchen or dining area, as those spaces tend to have smaller decorations that don't take much time to clear away. Once those are gone, move on to the tree. When it comes to the tree, I always take my time. I carefully remove each ornament and place it into labeled boxes so I can easily find everything when the next holiday season comes around. Packing them away carefully makes me feel more organized and reduces any stress when the next holiday season arrives. I remember one year, I was dreading taking down the tree, especially because of the pine needles that would fall everywhere. But instead of rushing through it, I broke it down into smaller tasks. On the first day, I removed all the ornaments. On the second day, I took down the lights. And by the third day, I was cleaning up the needles. It took me 3 days, but I didn't feel overwhelmed because I handled it step by step. It also gave me time to relax and not feel rushed. By the end, when the tree was finally gone, my space felt so much lighter and fresher. This process is important because when you try to do everything all at once, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and discouraged. But breaking it down allows you to see the small changes, making it feel more manageable and less stressful. Plus, when the decorations are all packed away, the space feels more open and spacious, making it much easier to prepare for a fresh start in the new year. Now that the decorations are neatly packed away and the space feels more open, it's time to tackle those hidden spots, the corners under the furniture, and those places that rarely get cleaned. Let's handle those next. Next, don't forget about the hidden spaces. It's easy to overlook the areas we don't see every day, under the furniture, behind the sofa, or in the corners of the room that are often out of sight. These areas tend to accumulate dust crumbs and small debris that we rarely notice. After a busy holiday season, these spaces can quickly turn into places where clutter hides. While visible surfaces may look tidy, if these hidden spaces are neglected, your home can still feel less than clean. This task may seem simple, but it has a huge impact. Start by moving furniture, even just a few inches. Shifting it slightly can uncover dust and debris that have been collecting underneath. Once the furniture is moved, use your vacuum cleaner or broom to clean up the areas underneath. Don't forget the corners and baseboards. Those are often neglected but can gather dust quickly. I like to use a microfiber cloth to wipe down the baseboards or use a vacuum attachment to get into hard-to-reach spots. For example, 1 year after the holidays, I decided to move my sofa to clean underneath. I was shocked to find so many crumbs wrappers and even some glitter left over from holiday decorations. It wasn't a huge mess, but after I vacuumed up the dust and debris, the space felt much cleaner. It only took about 10 minutes, but the room felt lighter and more open. Cleaning these hidden spaces is actually a small task that makes a big difference. We usually focus on the areas we can see, like the counters, shelves, or floors, but the hidden areas are just as important. Once these spaces are clean, the room feels so much fresher. A room can look fine from the outside, but once those hidden areas are tidied up, it will feel airy and more comfortable. This small task has a big impact in making your space feel renewed. Now that the space feels cleaner, let's move on to managing your time during the cleaning process so it doesn't become overwhelming. Let's talk about how to break down the tasks into manageable chunks. Next, let's talk about breaking down the tasks into smaller chunks. Cleaning an entire house can feel overwhelming, especially when you look at everything that needs to be done. The thought of cleaning every nook and cranny, scrubbing surfaces, and wiping down every shelf might make you want to give up before even starting. But I found that when we try to tackle everything all at once, it becomes too much, and we end up feeling exhausted and frustrated before we see any results. The key here is to break the cleaning process into smaller, more manageable parts. Instead of saying, I have to clean the whole house, focus on one room or even just one area within a room. For example, in the kitchen, I start by wiping down the counters. After that, I'll tackle the sink and dishes, and finally, I'll vacuum or mop the floor. This way, each task feels easier to manage because I'm only focusing on one thing at a time instead of being overwhelmed by a long to-do list. A strategy I use to stay focused is setting a timer for each task. I typically set the timer for about 15 to 20 minutes per area. This not only helps me stay focused, but it also adds a sense of urgency. When the timer goes off, I know I've spent enough time on that task, and it's time to move on to the next one or take a short break if I'm done. 1 year after the holidays, I needed to clean the living room. Instead of looking at the whole room and thinking I have to clean it all at once, I broke it down into smaller sections. First, I organized the coffee table, then the TV stand, and finally, I vacuumed the floor. After about an hour, the whole room was clean and I didn't feel overwhelmed. If I had tried to do everything at once, I would have been exhausted, but because I broke it down into smaller tasks, I was able to keep my energy up and stay motivated. I've used this same method for bigger cleaning tasks like the bathroom, and it really works. Breaking tasks into smaller steps helps you avoid feeling overwhelmed by the amount of work. Each small accomplishment is a little victory, and these add up over time. When I break the work down into smaller parts, it feels easier to keep going and I don't get stressed. It also helps you stay motivated because every task completed brings you closer to the goal and you can feel the progress. Now that you've broken the work into smaller parts, let's move on to making sure your home isn't just clean but also a space you truly enjoy being in. Let's create a space that feels like your home. Finally, don't forget to make your space a place you truly love. After all the cleaning and tidying, the next step is to turn that clean house into a space where you feel truly comfortable and at home. It's easy to see that after cleaning our space looks neat, but what's more important is creating an environment that helps you feel relaxed, comfortable, and able to enjoy every moment in your home. Take some time to think about what makes you feel at ease in your space, whether it's a cozy throw blanket, a favorite plant, or family photos displayed throughout the house. These small items may seem insignificant, but they can completely transform your living space. For example, after I've finished cleaning, I like to add a few personal touches to the space. I'll sometimes add a new decorative pillow to the couch, or bring in a new plant to brighten up the living room. These small changes don't take much time, but they immediately make the space feel fresher and more inviting. Your home doesn't need to be overly decorated, but adding those personal touches that make you feel comfortable and at home will make the space truly special. When you create a space you love, that space becomes a place you truly want to return to after a long day. It's more than just a place to live, it's where you find peace and relaxation. Personal items, memories, and things you enjoy make your home feel meaningful and help you feel like you truly belong there. A clean and tidy home is great, but when it reflects your personality and style, it becomes a place you look forward to being in a sanctuary for relaxation and recharging. Now let's talk about how to maintain a clean home without feeling overwhelmed. After all the hard work of decluttering and cleaning, it's easy to fall back into old habits and let clutter build up again. The key to keeping your home tidy without it feeling like a huge task is to build simple daily habits that prevent things from getting out of hand. Instead of waiting for the mess to pile up and then doing a major cleaning session, focus on small, everyday habits. For instance, always make the bed in the morning. It's a simple task that only takes a few minutes, but it instantly makes your room look cleaner. Another habit I've incorporated is putting things away right after I use them. After I finish cooking, I clean the dishes immediately rather than letting them pile up in the sink. This way, I never have a huge mess to deal with later. One small but powerful habit is wiping down surfaces daily, even just for a couple of minutes. I keep a cleaning cloth in the kitchen and bathroom, and every night before bed, I take a moment to wipe down the counters, sinks, and any surfaces that may have collected dust or crumbs. This simple habit helps me stay on top of things without feeling like I have to do a big cleaning session every week. For example, when I cook dinner, I clean as I go, washing, cutting boards, wiping down the counter, and putting ingredients back in their place. By the time dinner is done, the kitchen is already half clean, and I just need to do the dishes. This approach reduces the amount of time I spend cleaning after meals, and the kitchen never feels out of control. Daily habits help keep your home under control so you don't feel overwhelmed by clutter. It's much easier to clean up a few crumbs or a few dishes right after you use them than to deal with a pile of dishes and clutter at the end of the week. Building these habits makes cleaning a natural part of your routine rather than a big, dreaded task. Plus, when your space stays organized on a daily basis, it helps create a calming environment and you can always feel at peace in your home. Now that you have a system in place for daily habits, let's move on to making sure you're setting yourself up for success in the long term. Let's talk about organizing your home in a way that minimizes clutter from the start. Now let's talk about organizing your home in a way that minimizes clutter from the start. Once you've built daily habits to maintain a clean space, The next step is to focus on organizing your home so that everything naturally stays tidy and clutter-free. It's not just about cleaning, it's about ensuring everything has its place so things don't start piling up again. Start by tackling one area at a time and making sure each item has a designated spot. For example, in the kitchen, create a specific place for everything, from pots and pans to utensils and food. This prevents things from piling up on the countertops. Similarly, in the living room, keep remote controls books and magazines in a basket or drawer so they're easy to find but not scattered all over. When everything has a designated place, it's much easier to keep your home tidy because you don't have to waste time moving things around or searching for items. Another great way to organize is by decluttering your storage spaces. Whether it's a closet, pantry, or drawer, go through these spaces and get rid of anything that's no longer useful or that you haven't used in months. By organizing your storage areas and removing unnecessary items, you'll make it much easier to keep everything else tidy. If you only keep what you truly need or love, it reduces the chances of clutter accumulating. For example, a few months ago, I did this in my kitchen. I took everything out of the pantry, sorted it by category, and threw away anything that had expired or I hadn't used in over a year. I also reorganized my shelves so that the things I use most often are easily accessible. The result was a much cleaner kitchen that felt easier to maintain. The space felt less cluttered and more functional, and it gave me more motivation to keep it that way. Organizing your home to minimize clutter doesn't just make cleaning easier, it prevents the mess from building up in the first place. When things have a designated place and your storage areas are well organized, it's much easier to keep everything tidy on a daily basis. You won't feel overwhelmed by clutter because you've already created a system that works for you. Plus, an organized home helps you feel calm and in control, and that peace of mind will make maintaining cleanliness much less stressful. Now that you've organized your home to minimize clutter, the final step is making sure you stick to these habits long term. Let's explore how to set realistic goals for maintaining a clean and organized space in the future. Now let's talk about setting realistic goals to maintain a clean and organized home in the long term. After all the effort spent decluttering, cleaning, and organizing, the next step is ensuring your home stays in this state. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the idea of keeping everything perfect. The key is to set achievable goals and stick to them so your home stays clean without you feeling stressed or burnt out. Start by setting small, manageable goals for each area of your home. Instead of trying to clean the entire house all at once, focus on one room or one task at a time. For example, plan to clean the kitchen every morning or make it a habit to clean the living room before bed. Doing these small tasks helps you feel accomplished without pressure, and it makes the cleaning process much easier. A great way to maintain goals is by breaking them down into daily, weekly, and monthly tasks. Daily tasks might include wiping down surfaces and making the bed. Weekly tasks could involve vacuuming and mopping, while monthly tasks might include organizing storage areas or tidying up closets. For example, I set a goal to clean the kitchen every morning. In just a few minutes, I wipe down the counters, put dishes away, and make sure everything is tidy. This routine helps me avoid dealing with a messy kitchen when I start cooking. Similarly, when I set a specific goal to clean the living room every night, I wake up to a fresh and welcoming space each morning. When you break tasks down into smaller, achievable steps, it's much easier to maintain a clean home without feeling overwhelmed. Realistic goals help you maintain a cleaning routine without burnout. Setting these small, manageable goals also helps you stay motivated, as each task completed brings a sense of accomplishment. It allows you to feel more confident and makes it easier to keep your home organized and comfortable. Now, in conclusion, maintaining a clean and organized home doesn't have to be difficult or overwhelming. By starting with simple habits, setting realistic goals, and organizing your space thoughtfully, you'll create an environment that's not only tidy, but also a place where you can truly relax. The key is consistency and small, manageable steps that make the whole process feel less like a chore and more like a natural part of your routine. I hope these tips help you feel more in control of your space, and I'm confident that with these small changes, your home will always feel fresh, welcoming, and stress-free. To maintain a clean and organized home, you need to start with simple daily habits like wiping surfaces, making the bed, and cleaning up immediately after using items. At the same time, setting realistic goals and breaking tasks into smaller parts will help you avoid feeling overwhelmed and keep your home tidy. Organizing your living space properly from the start will also help you prevent clutter and make it easier to maintain long-term tidiness. I understand that many of you find it challenging to keep a clean home, especially when life gets busy. The simple habits and methods I shared in this video will help you maintain a tidy living space without taking up too much time or effort. If you want to learn more about how to organize your living space more effectively and reduce clutter, stay tuned for my next video where I'll share useful tips to help you optimize your living space. Start applying these tips today to transform your home into a comfortable and relaxing space. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next helpful videos.